Soso. Soso is near and dear to my heart. Now, first of all, there's less reason for someone like Soso to protest under socialism because things would be better. Now, there would also be more venues for people to speak their minds, more room for political debate. I'm not saying this stuff would be perfect, but it would be improved. Now, I'm also not saying that there wouldn't still be things to protest and there wouldn't still be problems and things that could be made better. There always will be. It's always a work in progress. Life, society, evolution, all of it. And we need people like Soso that have that passion for change that, you know, are driven to do that. So it's absolutely, you know, a possibility and, you know, likely that even that she would still be the way that she is and she'd still be involved in protesting and activism. And, you know, there's nothing, I have nothing against that. It's a great thing. People should continue to do it. I also know that based on my experiences with Occupy, a lot of them would not at all be happy with socialists and a socialist government. And they don't trust leaders, and they don't like structure, and I'm just going to go off on Occupy a little bit right now because I was heavily involved in Occupy for a year. I gave a year of my life to that. I wasted a year of my life pretty much, the way I look at it, and I resent that. I didn't go into it, though, with any kind of illusion or delusion that, you know, the way that they're approaching things is the right approach. Like, Philly Socialists actually started a year before Occupy. In, like, 2010, the two founders that I know that I used to organize with, which is how I came to be involved with them and everything, they came to Philly and they started it. And I believed in their approach. We were ideologically in line, but I didn't come here with them, and I stayed in New York and Staten Island, and I felt like I really wanted an opportunity to organize where I grew up, where I was from, because I thought that would give me, you know, more credibility in the minds of the people that were trying to organize, that I'm from here, I know this place. But, you know, when Occupy started, I saw very quickly that this is not the right approach, what they're doing. And I'm going to try to impose, I want to say this, it's not like I say I wanted to impose my will, but I didn't want to like go in there and say, no, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. Not like that, but I saw that the DNA of the Occupy Wall Street group, that wasn't going to change. They were the way that they were, the people who founded it and started it, and it was pointless to try to push them in a different direction. But Occupy Staten Island, where most of my efforts were devoted, I was trying to push them in the direction of what Philly Socialists is doing, which is social programs to organize the people in the communities and having a general long-term strategic direction of forming a political party and vying for power. Because we need power and we need resources. And it was like banging my head against the wall, even in Occupy Staten Island. No matter how hard I worked, I showed people I could be a leader. You know, I was like one of the main, if not the main organizers in that group. Yet nobody would support my idea to form a political party, or at least for us to have the direction of doing that. It was just incredibly frustrating, banging my head against the wall. And as far as Soso, bringing it back to relevance to the show and to the character, she's got a lot to learn. And she can learn a lot from Piper about how to communicate effectively with people, how to talk to people on their level, to reach them in a way that is relevant to them, that makes sense, that they want to hear, that they're interested in. Because Soso, she'll just talk and talk and talk. She has no idea as to what's in these other people's minds, what's in their head, until eventually Nikki shoves her head in her crotch, because that's what happens. People do not want to hear this shit, you know? And it's like, you also got to think about, why did she end up in prison? Was she one of the people who, you know, lays down and stops traffic and whatever? And it's like, how effective do you really think that is? If you're just pissing off people that are trying to get to and from work, these are the people that you're trying to organize. Like, there are probably better ways that you can communicate with them. There's a lot more I could say about Soso. Obviously, I'm very passionate about this character, but I've said enough. I've spent a lot of time on it. So. Okay, I got to say something really quick about Soso that I felt needed to be said after what I said at the end there. There are a lot of cases where people get arrested for protesting. It's total bullshit. Like, the cops will kettle people who aren't trying to be unlawful in any way just to set them up into an arrestable situation. Like, the Brooklyn Bridge, for instance, people remember 700 people got arrested. The cops totally kettled people there. Another one that I witnessed online on the internet as it happened was in Los Angeles last year, the Ferguson protest. People were not trying to be unlawful, and then all of a sudden, they were following the cops' directions, and then the cops all of a sudden announced that this is an unlawful protest, and they arrested everybody because there was like a basketball game going on or something at Staples Center, and they knew the protest was headed that way, and they didn't want it to happen, so they just corral everybody and arrest them, which is bullshit. Okay, I just had to say that.